You ever have one of those moments where you look back on something you were so worried about and you just think, what on earth was I thinking? Right? Well, today we're going to dive into a single quote that just nails that feeling. It's all about that slow dawning realization of how much of our precious time we've spent on, well, nonsense. All right, let's get right into it.
Okay, here it is. The more mature we become, we start to realize how much nonsense we have wasted our time on. Just let that sit for a second. It's so simple, right? But it's also kind of brutally honest. It's one of those things that I think most of us feel deep down in our bones. See, this quote isn't just a statement. It's more like a map of a journey that pretty much all of us are on, from being totally distracted to finally getting some clarity.
So let's break this down, starting with that big word, nonsense. What is that really? Well, for a huge chunk of our lives, we're all kind of operating under this illusion of importance, you know? We're out there chasing things that feel so critical in the moment. But then as time goes on, you look back and poof, all that weight, all that meaning, it just vanishes.
And what's wild is just how common this nonsense is. I mean, we're talking about that endless chase for likes and approval online, that little hit of validation. Or, all the energy we pour into arguments that, let's be honest, won't matter next week, let alone next year. And oh, the big one. Lying awake at 3 a.m., your mind just racing, worrying about stuff you have absolutely no control over. The key here is that this isn't some personal flaw. Nope, it's just part of the deal. It's a shared human thing. This really gets to the heart of the whole pivot, doesn't it? When we're younger, we're often chasing everything on the left side of this list. What do people think of me? Where do I stand in the pecking order? How much stuff can I get? But then maturity starts to kick in, and it reveals a totally different truth. The real treasures, the things that actually matter, are over on the right. Things like inner peace, real authentic connections, and just that quiet satisfaction of personal growth. It's like we spend years playing a game with an external scorecard, and then we finally realize the only scorecard that matters is the one we keep for ourselves. So the big question is, how does this shift actually happen? I mean, it's not like you wake up on your 40th birthday and boom, a switch flips. It's so much more subtle than that, and honestly, it happens a little differently for everyone. Yeah, it's almost never this huge, dramatic, lightning bolt moment. It's more like, when you have an old photograph and you watch it slowly fade over the years? It's like that. One day, you just kind of look at an old ambition or an old fear, and you realize, huh, it's lost its color. It just doesn't have that same power over you anymore. The journey usually follows a path that looks something like this. Step 1, you just live your life. You collect experiences, the good, the bad, the wins, the heartbreaks, all of it. Then comes step 2, those moments of quiet reflection. Maybe it's after something big happens, or maybe it's just on a random long walk. You start connecting the dots. And then, out of that reflection, step 3 happens. A new kind of clarity starts to emerge. You finally begin to see the difference between the things that actually nourished your soul and the things that just distracted you. And this is the destination. This is where that whole journey leads. To a firm, real, unshakable grasp on what's actually meaningful in your life. This is the payoff, right? This is the wisdom you earned from all that time spent chasing the nonsense. So, if we look at it through the lens of this quote, we can almost redefine what maturity even is. It's got nothing to do with how old you are and everything to do with awareness. Maturity is just the gradual process of learning what's truly worth your time and your energy. It's about becoming a smarter, wiser investor in your own life. And check this out. This chart visualizes that investment perfectly. Think of it like your personal pie chart for time and energy. When we're younger, man, that slice for trivial concerns can be huge, right? It might take up half the pie. But as we mature, we start reallocating. We realize those resources are finite, so that trivial slice has to shrink, making more room for the stuff that actually feeds us. Meaningful connections, personal growth, and that all-important inner peace. Okay, so we get the realization, we understand the shift, but now comes the most important part. What do you do with it? Because this quote, it's not meant to be a tragedy about wasted time. It's really an empowering call to action for the time we have left, right here, right now. And this right here is maybe the most crucial takeaway of all. All that nonsense from the past, it wasn't a total waste. Think of it as the tuition you paid for wisdom. The goal is not to look back and beat yourself up with regret. The goal is to take that hard-earned wisdom and use it to redirect your life starting today.
So what does that redirection actually look like in the real world? Well, it's about investing your energy in relationships that are deep, not just wide. It's about finding work that feels meaningful to you, not just something that looks good on paper. It's about fiercely, unapologetically protecting your own well-being. And maybe, just maybe, most importantly, it's about learning to just be present, to be right here in the small, quiet moments that, when you string them all together, actually make up a life.
So in the end, this quote isn't just a clever observation. It's an invitation. It's a direct invitation to look at your own life right now and ask yourself a really honest question. What nonsense in my life is ready to be released? What outdated worry, what pointless argument, what hollow chase is it finally time to let go of? That's a question that only you can answer. Thanks for joining me.